Say, man, you know what it is, man. Special guest in the building. Much love and respect to my man Retro stopping through, y'all. Y'all know what to do.
Big Cell. You still keeping it 100.
Hey now, this is the Mileage Bully, the Moto Mob CEO, home of the Moto Mob where legends are made. You are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show. Like, share, and subscribe. You know what to do. Press play.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Retro Philosophy Show, where I always listen to my man, 50 Grand, Pastor Retro. You know what it is.
What's up, everybody? This is your man Pablo Frescobar on the Retro Philosophy Podcast, talking about my newly published book, Courage Unveiled, Navigating the Battlefield Within.
Retro, what's up, man? It's your guy Lavish coming in from the Motor City, Detroit, man. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep up the good work. I'm watching the channel. I'm watching it grow. Everybody out there, man, if you listening, man, show this brother some love. Go ahead and share this video. Go ahead and like, follow, and subscribe to his channel.
I done said all I got to say.
No, I know.
A lot of people like to hold back, but I don't hold back nothing. I take just like it is.
You already know what it is. It's your homegirl, Lottie Dottie. I'm in the building hanging out with Retro, and he ain't never lying.
That's Retro.
Yes, sir.
My man.
We got you, boss man.
Love you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? It's your boy Retro with you on today. And I've got a public service announcement for you. Just because you do something that you see an OG do doesn't make you an OG. And just because you get on your motorcycle and you pound from here to there doesn't make you a ground pounder either. You'll never be what you ain't. But hey, like they say in the Army, be all you can be. Everybody say,
Yes, indeed. What's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. It's your boy Retro with you on today. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Why? Because he's been better to me than I've been to myself. He's been better to me than you could ever be. He's been better to me than I knew good could be to me. And so he's just worthy of all the praise, the glory, and the honor. You know, it may, excuse me. It may sound somewhat cliche-ic, but, you know, the old folk used to always say, when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all that he has done for me, my soul cries out, hallelujah. And I praise God for saving me. Listen to me, folks. I want you to take a moment. We're going to talk about supportive conversations, learning to have supportive conversations and things of that nature. We want to talk about that on this morning. If you are watching and you would like to join the conversation, we certainly welcome you to do so. The number is 704-235-8408. Let me see if I can get that on the screen here. Bada boom, bada bang. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. Let's see here. I thought I had it here somewhere to put on the screen, but nevertheless, here we go right here. I think this is it there. So by all means, we would love for you to join the conversation because it looks different for different people. I shared a post on, I think might have been yesterday. And some of you guys may have also shared it as well, may have seen it. But it's talking about support, and the gist of it is some people can't support you out loud, and you know why. Let's see here. Yeah. You know why they can't support you out loud. Yeah, I was looking for a particular sound to go right about there, but we'll just keep it moving. Bada boom, bada bang. Maybe we'll do a little bit of this. Okay. I'll leave you alone. But it's a true story, and it's also an interesting read. When you really dig into support and what it looks like, let's look at it this way. Let's do it this way. I'm old school. I grew up old school. Thank God for some old school OGs in my life. At a young age, I was what some may have considered an old soul, a little bit before my time. As a youth growing up, and there were so many benefits to that. Oh my goodness, I can't begin to elaborate and articulate the benefits that go along with being a little bit ahead of your time, or I shouldn't say your time, but your age group, if you will, if nothing else, but in terms of your thinking. Okay, I don't know if you noticed my shirt, perspective, vision, two different things, but your perspective will always affect your vision, but because I say this, one's perception is one's reality. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, grew up old school, and growing up old school, you learn a lot. You learn to listen. It's hard to learn when your lips is moving. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta hirsch. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta hirsch, sit down and take a seat and just listen. So, my mama used to say things, because I grew up in church. I had a drug problem at a young age. My mama drugged me to church, and so anyway, my mama would say things, as your mother probably did. But my mother was also an usher. Oh gosh, and she was an usher's usher, and she would say things about support, but that support meant something different. That support she was talking about was the undergarments. Oh, come on, I shouldn't even have went there. But that undergarment that the ushers would wear, them slips and them girdles and things like that, it held you up. It held you in place. Oh gosh, okay. And so what is support to you? Now, support is not always comfortable, because when I think about support, if you support me, let me say it this way, if I support you, okay, it's not always going to be a financial support. But sometimes support is accountability, because there are some people that will sow but don't support. There are some people that will patronize but not support. Yeah, see, when you really talk about support, what does your support system look like? Okay, and if you have an item that is a part of the support system, the item in and of itself is not the system. And we all know that systems are important, okay? Because a system is a group of things. It's a number of things that allow the system to do what the system is meant to do or supposed to do. I don't know if I got anybody listening to this kind of talk on this morning. It might be too early. Maybe we should talk some raunchy stuff. I don't know. But some people cannot support you publicly. They cannot support you out loud, because they don't want other people to know that they support you, because they were just talking about you to those same other people. And so then it gets kind of messy. So what do I think about support? I think support is great. I think that we sometimes incorrectly define support, and we sometimes expect something that we will never get. Some people that you want to support you, they are supporting you by not supporting you. Yeah, some people are supporting you by not supporting you, because a support system is not always comfortable. A support system is not always what you necessarily want, but it's necessary. So if you think about your circles, right? You shouldn't have yes men I shouldn't say you shouldn't have yes men in your circle, but your circle shouldn't be full of yes men. And when I say yes men, I'm talking about those are the people that always say yes. They always go along with whatever you down to do, whatever whatever you planning to do. They never tell you no. And sometimes they never tell you no because you are their source. They're not going to tell you no. They don't want to disappoint you, because if they do so, then it may cause what they are getting from you to come to a stop. So a support system, ladies and gentlemen, goes a whole lot further than that. Okay, so some people are supporting you by not supporting you, and the fact that they are not supporting you, it pushes you to a point to provide for yourself. It pushes you to a point to create for yourself. It pushes you to a place where you will learn how to maneuver, even when you don't have everything you would like to have. I just received a clip. I saw the clip the other day, but I didn't watch the clip. But then I received the clip literally this morning, and so I watched it right before I went live. Almost tempted to play it, but I won't. And anyway, it's a preacher, and he's talking about raising your children and not to make them soft. He was talking about they have big screen TVs, but they don't know how to do fractions and things. And everything he said was true. Every single thing he said in the clip that I watched was absolutely true. It was absolutely true. And so, the point is, sometimes we give people everything and never hold them accountable. We give them everything and we never push them to create. We never push them to learn how to maneuver, so on and so forth. And so I say that to solidify what I previously said, and the fact that some people, by not supporting you, are supporting you. If they would have supported you, if they would have, done this or done that for you like you thought they should have, and like you wanted them to do, you would have never learned how to do it yourself. And the old, I don't know, I guess we can call it an old African proverb, you give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. You teach him how to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. If you agree, just type amen in the comment section, or simply I agree. I'm just saying, or just say hello. Okay. I told you now, if you tune in to the Retro Philosophy Show, I ain't got no Cash App on the screen. I ain't got none of that. I ain't got no PayPal or no, what's the other one they do all the time? The GoFundMe. I don't got none of that on my screen, So if you want to support me, press play and then say hello when you come into the comment section. That's all I'm asking. Okay. That's all I'm asking. So if you're watching, say hello, say what's up, or goodbye, whatever, but anyway, they are supporting you by not supporting you. And sometimes we want to depend on people to do for us what God wants us to do ourselves. Now, let's talk about the other side of it. There are some people who you want to support, even financially, right? But you're not in a place to support them financially. I mean, you barely holding on yourself, and that's I don't know about you, but that's understandable, because I mean to tell you, life be life, and then math don't be mathing. Am I by myself, or am I telling the truth? And so sometimes we can't support the way we would like to support, but we can promote, because in promoting you support. Am I right about it? So even though you may not be able to financially assist or financially help or things of that nature, you can definitely promote them on your social media. You can promote them on your, in your book club, whatever groups you may be a part of, in your circles, in your sphere of influence. You can share, because, word of mouth goes a long, long way. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I hope you're listening. Okay. Otherwise, you will walk around here upset and feeling some type of way because so-and-so and such and whoever ain't doing this, that, and the other. Look at here, man. First of all, you don't know what they're going through in their life, but most importantly, did you start what you started with them in mind? And if so, then you shouldn't have started what you started. What I'm saying is, if you start a business or you start whatever it is that you start, you can't start it based on this one and that one supporting you. Did you sit down with them and go into a partnership or a contract? Okay, I'm going to do such and such, but I can only do such and such if you help. And if you didn't have that kind of conversation, then why are you sitting around waiting for them to do what you should be doing? I don't know. I'm just perhaps allegedly, possibly, otherwise you'll walk around here upset, angry, feeling some kind of way, and that's energy that you can be putting into your business, that you could be putting into your project, or whatever the thing is that you're doing. And then let me say this, since I'm there. You say, well, I'm still upset. I'm doing what I got to do, but I just feel some type of way. Be careful how you feel some type of way, because you are literally planting that energy into your project, into your business, into your movement, whatever it is that you're doing. Okay. And those are not the kinds of, fertilization you want to fertilize your seed with. I'm just saying, you got to have a clean heart. You got to have a clean heart. We made mention the other day, right? Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivered them out of them all. If you want to be delivered out of all of your afflictions, then you've got to be righteous. Your heart's got to be clean. Otherwise, that latter part of that verse is not going to apply to you or your circumstance or situation. I'm just saying. This is why we have, and yeah, I said we, because me too. We have to be very careful that we don't allow the enemy to get us to a place of resentment, a place of bitterness, a place of, hurt. And I know we all run around here talking about church hurt, this hurt, that hurt, and everything. And it did hurt. But we got to get over it. And before we get up and move on, before we get up and go on, before we, let's make sure we're healed, because it's hurting people that hurt people. Yes, I've been hurt, but you shouldn't move on while you're still hurting, because I promise you, my dear brothers and sisters, you are going to infect someone else. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, let's make some noise for Natalie James in the building. Bada boom, bada bang. Good morning, and God bless you. Thank you for being a part of the Retro Philosophy Show on this here morning. She says, amen, and you must be alert. We've got to be alert. We've got to be alert. If you right now are upset that someone is not or did not support you, then I want you to pause for a moment, and I want you to begin to focus on you. I want you to begin to focus on what you're doing, okay? Because what you're doing should not be based on whether or not they do or don't support you. Guess what? There's plenty of fish in the sea. Is this mic on? Is this microphone on? I'll say it one more time. There's plenty of fish in the sea. And sometimes we can't see beyond our immediate circle. Sometimes we can't see beyond the groups that we are a part of. But there are some people out there that are waiting for you. There are some people out there who have been praying for you. And I'm not talking about praying that you do well, but the same thing that you're doing is what they have been praying for. They don't know you, so they're not praying for you individually, but they've been praying for the gift that's in you, and they need it. The product that's in you, they've been praying for it. You are an answered prayer to somebody, for somebody. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Hear me good and hear me loud, okay? So here's what you got to do. Stop focusing on those who will not support you. Stop focusing on those that will not celebrate you, because there's somebody that will. See, we've got to get to a point. I heard this many years ago. Why stay where you are tolerated when you can be where you are celebrated? God said to Abram, he said, I want you to leave from your country and from your kindred to a place that I will show you. And sometimes it's a place that God will show us, and he's going to make sure that we get there. But we, my dear brothers and sisters, we've got to be willing to trust God. We've got to be willing to step out on faith. Come on, somebody. Here's a good one, Natalie. Thank you very much. Branch out, trust the process, and evolve worldwide. Could it perhaps be that God is trying to stretch you? Could it perhaps be that God is trying to get you from one place to another, but you are, oh, I don't know if I could say that. They might take it the wrong way. Could it perhaps be that you're stuck on stupid? Because you got to be some kind of stupid to be sitting around waiting on somebody to do for you what they done told you so many times in so many different ways that they ain't gonna do. And here you are with your feelings in a bunch because they won't do. And get up and move on. Now, the reality is, yes, it hurts. Yeah, it does. It hurts because, you know, you would have bent over backwards to do, you know, what they won't do for you. That's just a pattern of life. It you know, I mean, I don't have an answer for that. Maybe somebody watching does, but I just don't happen to have the answer to that. Stagnant water only collects bugs. And it's a breeding place for mosquitoes, that I do know. And who likes mosquitoes? I mean, you know what? Who likes mosquitoes? Real talk. Who likes mosquitoes? I mean, really? Oh, man, those are beautiful mosquitoes. You know, come on, man. Really? So stagnant water and, yeah. So we've got to be willing to trust the process and move on if you got to move on. I do believe that because I've been there. I've been there personally, and I know that sometimes it's hurtful. You know what I mean? But it yields a far more exceeding weight of glory. I promise you it will. Because what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. You understand what I'm saying? And so we must be willing to not only trust the process, but believe in your product. Believe in your product, even when they don't. Because if you mess around, as I said earlier, you allow that bitterness, that resentfulness, that hurt, that confusion, that anger, that disappointment. You know, disappointment is a big one. Because disappointment breeds so much, but in and of itself is not harmful. And so here you are, now you're not angry, you're not mad, you're not resentful, you're none of those things. So those are the alarming emotions, you know, and usually they cause you to do something. So you're real cautious, you know. So when you get to the place of anger or resentment and everything, you know, you sometimes will seek help or will, you know, but disappointment is the quiet killer. It's the silent killer. Because you're disappointed, you know. You feel let down, and then next thing you know, you start to second guess, you know, the validity of what you're doing or who you are. You begin to second guess, you know, your purpose, all because of disappointment. Now, disappointment in and of itself is not. Disappointment has never hurt anybody directly, but indirectly. The things that are related to disappointment. That's the killer. That's the killer. And so here you are. I'm just disappointed. You know, they not support me. They're not buying my hat. They're not buying my gloves. They're not buying my shoes. They're not buying my shoelace. You know, whatever it is you're selling, you know, they won't support, you know. And I'm just disappointed. That's all, you know. But I'm gonna be all right. You know, I'm gonna be all right. And you get to, when they get to go to rocking, when they get to doing that rocking. When they get to doing the rocking, y'all, I'm stop them. Get hold to them now. Get hold to them now. I give myself 100 before the world even try and add their 50 invest in you and the others who follow once they see your growth. And, you know, oh, yeah, I remember Natalie. Yeah. We go way back. Oh, now we go way back. Now you want to celebrate me because, you know, I persevered and I stuck to the game plan. And by God's grace and mercy, you know, we got to a place where, you know, things begin to take off. And now, yeah, oh, yeah, I know, Retro. We go way back. Yeah. But I never saw you comment on on my stuff, you know, but yet and still you telling me that, you know, that you understand the point that I'm making. And so it's rough sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed. But you've got to believe in yourself when no one else does. Let me talk about disappointment for a little bit longer and get out of your way. Hopefully I'm not disappointing you with today's broadcast, but you know, I'm doing my best. Okay. Disappointment is, again, it's the silent killer, because it's not a raging emotion. It's not a loud emotion. It's an undercover emotion. It's the emotion that gets you before you get out to bed. It's the emotion that gets you before you make the choice or make the decision. What's going on, C1s? Ladies and gentlemen, saints and saints. Let's say good morning to C1s. God bless you, sir. Hope all is well. And the sad thing is, a lot of times the choice that you were getting ready to make was the right choice, but then you second guessed it because of disappointment. You said, well, maybe I should just, you know, be quiet. No, speak up and speak loud. Come on, somebody. I should put some wax on these hairs. Just keep on getting them. You know, it's just, oh, Lord. The wax is purposeful. It's not just for the curly style. It's okay. Anyway, all right. Sorry. I digress. Disappointment, ladies and gentlemen, it's a silent killer. Okay. So the Bible says, rejoice in the Lord, right? Again, I say rejoice. Okay. So rejoice, to be joyous again. So when you are disappointed, come on, somebody, you've got to get back to a joyful state, and you cannot allow people to take your joy. Now, in a perfect world, I would love those who I support to support me. But in the real world, it doesn't play out like that for several different reasons. OK, again, this is not to say that they are wrong. Maybe they're going through things and they just can't support. Maybe they want to, but they just can't. Now, for some of them, that ain't the case. They just, you know, we ain't even going to there because we're going to stay positive. OK, but the reality is, or the important thing to take away is, regardless of why they're not supporting you, don't let it take you down. Don't let it take you down, okay? What are you going to do, folks? You're going to get up and you're going to keep on doing what you got to do, because there's somebody out there that will. There's somebody out there that they see your worth. They understand what you're doing, and they will support. And they will tell someone else that 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 will tell somebody else that will tell somebody else. And before you know it, you got doors that are being opened for you. Your name is being called in rooms you haven't even entered into yet. And guess what? The way your name is being called is in a positive light. See, some of y'all got friends that, yeah, your name is being called, but it ain't being called in a good light. You know, they trying to see to it that your success stops before it gets started, because they want to take your place. They want to take what's okay. Maybe I'm going a little bit too far here, because people don't do that, right? It's 2025. People don't do that. No, I didn't think so. Supportive conversations. This here, sometimes it's not the ideal conversation, but sometimes it's the conversation that needs to be had. Okay, let me share something else with you. We kind of talked about this on yesterday. It initiated during one of the What's Love marriage enrichment sessions is where this whole thing initiated, and that is this: the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between communication and conversation. Yeah, there's a difference between communication and conversation. Communication is giving information, sharing information. Not so much sharing information as in two-way, but more so giving information. Okay, so I'm sharing with you information, but we're not sharing information. Okay, communication is a different ball game. Communication, we are sitting down. Okay, we are exchanging information, and we are allowing, what's the word I'm looking for? We are allowing both of ourselves the opportunity for our perspectives to be enlightened. Come on, somebody, for us to see it or view it from a different perspective, because that's what conversation is about, right? We're talking to each other and we're coming to an understanding. And so it goes both ways. All right. And so when we talk about support-ive conversations, some people are talking, but they're not communicating. And then some people are communicating, but don't mistake that communication for conversation. All right, I'm done. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and aids, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, get up and do you on today. Be great and be great on purpose. You hear what I'm trying to tell you? Be great and be great on purpose. Don't stop because they stop. Yeah, because that's a whole nother part of it, right? They start out supporting you because everybody wants a good, how do I want to say this? Y'all remember years ago when we would watch TV and the infomercials would come on and they would have them little African children there with their bellies all swole up, and they would be saying, for 55 cents you can feed a child for a day, and and different things like that, and they got that slow music in the background, and people's they would feel, I don't know if they would feel guilty, but they would feel compelled because everybody likes a good comeback story type of thing, you know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, saints and everybody, make some noise, but they want to preach breed in the building. What's going on, sir? How you doing on today? And so they will support, right? But guess what? I promise you. Let's see. Good morning, my brother. Thank you. I logged right on. Okay, good. Okay, good. There we go. Say less, man. Keep doing what you're doing, big dog. Because when we do what we do. I'm gonna be honest with you. People say, I do what I do because, but still there's a part of what you do that's done for the sake of those that, that you have in mind. Okay. Because you got love for them. And you try to produce, or you try to put out a good product. And when I say product, I use that loosely, maybe not, something tangible, but whatever it is that you do, let's look at it as a product. Okay. And you want to put out a good product, right? You do everything within your power to operate in integrity, and decency, and Negroes still won't give you the time of day. And but they go over to the raunchy. Let me stop. Let me get off my soapbox. That ain't where I'm trying to go today. That ain't where I'm trying to go. Tomorrow's my birthday, so I'm going to live my best life. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. Let's say happy birthday to Natalie James. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I got the birthday song here somewhere, but but happy birthday, Natalie. I don't know if it's 22, 23, 24, maybe, possibly 25. I don't know, but happy birthday to you, young lady. Hopefully you enjoy your day to the fullest, and make it do what it do. Live your best life, okay? Now, they will support you as long as they think you're suffering. They will support you as long as they think you're suffering, right? But as soon as that belly, the swelling of that belly goes down, and because they had them kids on there, man, they be all ashy and everything, and boy, they be working on people's heartstrings, man, and I go on a limb to bet you that most of that money doesn't even reach those kids, all kind of corporation fees, and you got the anyway. But as soon as you start looking like you doing something. Let me just say it this way. Watch your support level when you start, right? Watch your support level when it looks like you're doing something, and see if it changed. See if it fluctuated. Because when you was out there breaking down on the side of the road, everybody had your back, oh, here's a tank of gas, whatever. And, you finally come up and, you don't see, they don't realize the work you put in behind the scenes. They don't realize not even the work that you put in behind the scenes, but the work you put in before there was a scene. Y'all miss me with that mess now. I'm just trying to tell you. Come on now. You see, let me move on. Now all of a sudden you done came up, you done saved up, and check this out. Watch this now. Watch this. It ain't even so much that you saved up. but somebody finally paid you what they owed you. And since you thought you was never going to see it, you just didn't even calculate it, right? But now all of a sudden, you done got what was owed you. So you say, you know what, I'm going to go out and get me a CVO and some matching sneakers to go with it, and then get my hair, my airbrush, and I'm going to just be jiggy fly. Now watch where your support level's at. Yeah. I don't know what it is about people, but they just like to see, I think people like to see people suffer. Yeah, if I'd have put the title, Retro got beat up or something like that, oh my goodness, folks would be clicking on. They want to see the drama, Am I lying or am I flying? Which one am I doing? I ain't doing neither one of them.
I done said all I got to say.
Yeah. So
a lot of people like to hold back, but I don't hold back nothing.
No, I'm just gonna tell the truth,
like it is.
just like it is. Oh my goodness, so true, and it is sad. It is, sis. But we have to see it and understand it, and then we got to get to this point, guys. Okay, we cannot get to the point where we figure these jokers out and then we go to cutting folk off. Mr. T said, I pity the fool, and I do. I pity the fool that goes around cutting everybody off. I pity the fool. Yeah. And look at it, man. I ain't got time to be cutting nobody off. You heard what I just said to you? I ain't got time to be going around here cutting nobody off. Check this out. I had a dog years ago. I used to always have dogs, right? She says I'm flying because I sure ain't lying. Come on, somebody. Watch out there now. So I'm trying to remember if this was a Rockweiler. I think it was a Rockweiler that I had, a little puppy. And, I was a little kid back then, teenager. And, I ain't have no money to be going to the vet to get the tails done. So when the puppies were born, you know what we did? We took a rubber band and we put it on the tail. And we wrapped it around, right? And left it there. And over time, you know what happened? The tail fell off. I know for some that might sound brutal and cruel, but the dog wasn't in any pain. What happened was the circulation stopped. It only flowed to the point to where the rubber band was, and the rest of the tail was starved of circulation, and it eventually withered up and fell off. True story. Okay, and so you don't have to cut people off. You just restrict them access. Let me see what the mayor of Wilson is saying on this morning. I've seen it with my own eyes. When 9/11 happened, the Red Cross had a brand new BMW SUV in the garage. After donations flooded the headquarters in New York City. I'm saying, they collect it, but does it really get to, So, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, you cannot right the wrong that you experience in life. It's not your job to right the wrong, but it is your responsibility to secure yourself when you are done wronged. Okay. Now, I don't tend to match energy. That's just not my flow. That's not my stilo. That's not how I get down. That's not my MO. Come on, somebody. But what I do when you do me wrong, you know what I do? Yeah. That's great English. You know what I do? I level up. Yeah, dead serious. I level up. The next time you see me, guess what I'm going to have? A smile. Guess what I'm do? I'm going to speak. I saw somebody recently who don't care two flips for me, but we frequent the same area, the same places, from time to time, So, you know what I did? Hey, what's up, bro? And, I didn't hear the response, so I got right up in front of him, put my hand out. Yo, what's up, bro? I spoke. Okay, I'm just, just making sure, because, there's not a man or woman in this world, on this earth, that's going to make me go out of my way to be miserable. I'm just saying, we're not going to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, the Lord is with us on this morning. I said what? I said the Lord is with us on this morning. Yeah, come on here, somebody. Pedal God. Hey. Woman of God, how are you doing on this morning? We must restrict their access, Pedal. True story, real talk, all seriousness. I ain't cutting nobody off. But restricting access I can do, and I have all right to do so. It's ironic too, Pedal, because we talked on yesterday from the book of Matthew. Moose is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make some noise. We got some power hitters on this morning. In the book of Matthew, when they sowed tears among the wheat, and they inquired, how did this happen? He said, while you slept, the enemy sowed tears among the wheat. And so then they said, do you want us to go and he says, no, leave it alone until the day of harvest. And so the point that I'm making with that, ladies and gentlemen, is when your cutoff game is on fleek, sometimes you might cut the wrong ones off. You see, you think they're tear, but you really can't tell at certain stages. Some people are hating on you because all they know how to do is hate. They're not a hater. They just been taught incorrectly. They're confused admirers. Okay. So if you go around cutting people off prematurely, you could be cutting off your support system. Whew, God almighty. Somebody received that. I'm trying to tell you, you might be cutting off your support system. Because not every hater wants to be a hater. Some haters are waiting to be converted. The Bible says that they are yearning and they are groaning for the manifestation of the sons of God. And so when these people stop supporting you and start hating on you, it might be a part of your assignment. Let the glory of God be revealed in your life. Let the real swag just be swagalicious so that they can see, this bro right here, man, he's unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. Yeah. I mean, you can call it what you want. You can say he bragging, he conceited. I'm none of those. I'm just convinced. No, I'm being serious though, guys. It can be very hurtful though when you put out a good product and you don't get the response that you think you should get. But in spite of the hurt, it might be a lesson, because the Bible says that we're not to think more highly of ourselves than we ought to. So maybe God is humbling you in this process and just using the haters. Did you catch that? Okay, because sometimes we go through things and we experience wrong. But the wrong that we experience is exposing another wrong that you didn't even realize existed. So what if they don't support you? Who is you? Just if what you're doing is right, then just keep doing it, support or not. Because what God has for me, it is for me. And there ain't a devil in hell that can stop me from getting what God has for me. Matter of fact, the only one that can stop me from getting what God has for me is me. See, God is not an Indian giver. So he's not going to say, hey, Retro, this is for you. And then when I get it, he says, I changed my mind. Nah, he ain't going to do that. But we can forfeit what he had in store for us. Oh, sucky now. She says, where does she send the offering? It is what it is, man. Good morning. I'm just glad that you're watching. I told them earlier, I ain't got no cash up on the screen. If you want to support, just comment and interact. And so that's the offering on this morning. Okay. So, thank you very much. There's a time and place for everything. Okay. So anyway, let me see if I can get back on track here. We're talking about support on this morning and supportive conversations. And some people are not supporting you because they didn't know you needed the support. You think people automatically know, sometimes you got to let them know, hey, yo, bro, I got this thing going on. It would be nice if you could support me on this, because to be honest with you right now, if I can get 50 people to support me by buying this T-shirt, okay, we'll just use that as an example, that would really put me in a good position, and some support you don't need always, you just need it for that season. You got to start a business you're starting, and hey, look, man, if you can, I started a landscaping business. This has been several years ago, and I did fairly well. And the truth be told, I started it accidentally. I was doing it just to do it, and then I had an opportunity to go and do some ministry over in Uganda, and so I made a couple posts, and all proceeds were going to fund the trip. And before you know it, the trip had been funded, and we was on our way to Uganda. Had an awesome time. Came back, customers were still ringing the phone and everything. So we just said, you know what, let's go ahead and just keep it going. And so we started the business. Here's the point I want to make. There were some customers I gave the opportunity, I should say. I gave them the opportunity to sign a contract at a very discounted rate. But what that did was that assured me X amount of business for X amount of time. And if I could secure that amount of business for that amount of time, it would have got me over the hump that I need to get over to ensure the success of this business. Okay. Now, there is some support that you don't need always. You just need it during that time. Okay. And so if they don't know that, how do they know if you don't let them know? So before you get all upset and walk around here talking about Retro won't support me, maybe you should at least have the conversation. Now, let me say this since we're there. We should get to a point where we understand the power, of our platforms. Let me do this real quick.
I don't mean to brag, but my videos are enjoyed by well over 4 people worldwide.
Okay, so I got 4. I'm 4 strong, right? 4 gazillion. Okay, but anyway, I'm prophesying. That was a prophecy right there. Okay, but anyway, seriously. Some of us have stronger platforms than others, obviously, right? And just because you have a stronger platform doesn't mean you have stronger content or material. Now, we should be real about that, right? But some people follow certain people for certain reasons, and they follow certain things for certain reasons, whether it be strong or not. But anyway, the point I'm making is, if you have a platform, you should be strategic with it, you should be intentional with it, and you should understand the power of your platform. And with that said and done, you could potentially have the ability, come on somebody, to really be a blessing to others by just simply, but of course we know everyone's not going to do that. Now, TD205, power of our platform, big or small, is right. Yeah. We all have a power. And there are some people that don't really rock with larger platforms for whatever reason. They're prone to or tend to gravitate towards smaller platforms. Now, if I was to put this in the sense of churches, big churches, small churches, mega churches, and storefront churches type of thing, there is a level of intimacy that you can get at a small church that I don't necessarily see evident at a lot of larger churches. That's just my experience and my opinion. And as a result, there are some people who are drawn to smaller churches more so than the big mega churches. However, there are those who are drawn to the mega churches, the big churches, and they can't really stand the small churches. Okay. And I think one of those reasons is simply this. This is me now. Now, I could be wrong. I was wrong once before, thought I was wrong, turned out I was right. Who knows, right? Who knows? K-Solo, what's going on, big dog? God bless you. Good to see you here on this morning. And so let's see, everyone has a sphere of influence. Absolutely, everyone does. And you've got to understand that, otherwise you will diminish what you have trying to be what you are not. I'm just going to pause. This is a Selah moment. The computer hasn't froze or anything, but I'm just going to pause. A Selah moment. Don't lose what you have trying to be what you ain't. It's hard to be big when little got you. Okay, so yes, everyone has a sphere of influence, and we've got to understand that. So let me talk about the big churches and the small churches thing, because this is, I'm using it from a church perspective, but it's applicable in so many different areas. So the big churches, right? You can go there and there's not as much accountability because you got thousands of people, they don't, and so you could slip through the cracks, you can slide in and slide out, you can, and you can still get your praise on, because they have dynamic worship and praise. They got all the, the glitz and the glamour, the bling and the lights and the screens and everything. And it's an awesome experience. I'm not, trying to, belittle the experience. But the accountabilities, I will take the accountability over the glitz and glamour, because glitz and glamour ain't gonna get you into heaven. It might get your attention on earth. It might make an extreme point. Come on, somebody. But it ain't gonna get you into heaven. And so for me, it's always been a smaller church experience that suits me best, because I don't need to be slipping through nobody's cracks. Like for real, you know what I'm saying? And I grew up in when I got saved, I was at a fairly small church. I say anywhere between 100, 200 people, give or take. Watching on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe, folks. What he said right there. Okay, like, share, and subscribe to the Retro Philosophy Show. Thank you, K Solo. Thank you very much, sir. So Thorough is in the building. God bless you, brother. God bless you. God bless you. This, whether you guys know or not, is my virtual deacon. Most of the time when I need a virtual deacon, Thorough is on point. Okay, and knows the word too, man. I'm saying. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. So again, trying to get back on track here. The small platforms can serve a big purpose. There are some people who need a smaller platform so that they can get what they need. Case in point, when I got saved, it was a small atmosphere, more of an intimate atmosphere type thing. You can reach out to people and get a response, and things of that nature, versus just being a number, just a butt in the pew. You know what I mean? So the Bible says it this way: despise not small beginnings. Now, my concept, because Jesus didn't have a mega church, however, Moses did. All right. So, good man to have as a deacon. There's my other deacon right there, low key in the building, ladies and gentlemen, Saints and Nates, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. Let's make some noise. Texas greatest right there. L.O. Hughes II. God bless you. Thank you for pressing play. So Jesus didn't have a mega church. He had 12 who are part of his church, and one of them was the devil. All right, we're going to leave that alone. But even Judas served the purpose. And Jesus told him, look, Judas, whatever you do it quickly. With that, I want to say this. The choice is yours. I do believe Judas, when Jesus said that to Judas, what he was giving Judas, he was literally giving Judas an out. He was giving Judas a chance to right his wrong. And Judas did the right thing, but he just did it with the wrong people. Good morning, good sister Shaquila Bussy. What's going on with you, young lady? You already know what it is.
Hey now, this is the Mileage Bully, the Moto Mob CEO.
The CEO.
Home of the Moto Mob, where legends are made. You are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show. Like, share, and subscribe. You know what to do. Press play.
Let's see here. Thank you, Shaquila. Okay, so Thorough said, how could Jesus and St. Peter speak to 5,000 people at once? Jesus' relationship with large crowds was complex. He was compassionate toward them and taught them, but he also had a strained relationship with them, sometimes withdrawing to be alone or giving teachings that would thin the crowds. Yeah, so now preaching to the masses is one thing. but pastoring them is different. Okay, people don't mind you preaching to them, but they got a problem when you pastor them. And so we got a lot of these mega churches who are just preaching to the people but not pastoring them. Pastoralship is one-on-one. Pastoralship is, you know, when you come on, man. Let's talk about this for a minute since we here. Thank you, Thorough. Now, let's just say you slipping, right? Not into the fast lane, but you slipping nonetheless, right? And you're slipping back into some things that you have been delivered from. Okay, now, in a small church, the service could come to a halt for one individual. Yeah, ask me how I know, because no man is going to be left behind. Not at Upper Praise anyway. You know, and so if we got to stop the whole service to work with brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so for their deliverance, guess what? We're going to do that. And the rest of the church understands that, and they're going to get with it, and we're going to have one big tearing meeting and deliverance, you know. And so we go through all that, right? We sacrificed a whole service on Sunday for brother so-and-so to be delivered, right? And he got his deliverance, all right? Now, a few weeks later, a few months later, you know, brother so-and-so is starting to show the same characteristics of, you understand what I'm saying? So is that going to be caught in a mega church? I mean, they might pray for you or something like that, you know, but you got thousands of people there. They ain't got time to be, no, sir. They not going to do it, you know? And if you do get delivered, are they going to notice you in that big old crowd, that your countenance has changed, that your behavior has changed, that your, you know, that everything is pointing to you slipping back into the darkness? That's good. A lot of sons, but not enough. Yeah, a lot of sons, but not enough fathers. And so in a smaller setting, which is what Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, was trying to get Moses to understand. He said, yo, Moses, Moses was about to break up his family trying to pastor all them folk. You don't believe me? Get in the word and check it out. Moses had a mega church and was about to mess up his family. Sent his wife and children back home to Jethro. Jethro said, hold on, wait one doggone minute. It don't work like this. He said, let me go up here and see what Moses is doing. He got up there, and guess what Jethro did? Jethro didn't get up there and just start cussing Moses. Look here now, you a sorry husband and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't do that. He sat there and he observed what was going on. Because check it out now, Jethro knew Moses was a good man. And sometimes a good man can do some bad things. Or maybe I should say it this way. Sometimes a good man can make a bad decision. And Jethro realizes that this is not the correct character of Moses. And this is the problem that a lot of us have. If I do something sideways, you're going to judge me and just write me off. But you should know me enough to know, now I know he did it, but that's not like him. So now we need to find out why he's doing things that's not according to his character. That's a whole nother show that we're going to have at another time, okay? So Jethro gets there and he tells Moses, after observing and seeing what's going on, he realized that the heart of Moses was right, but the mind of Moses was off. All right, we'll move on. That's a whole nother show as well. And so he tells Moses, look, you're going to kill yourself, man. He said, you need to find you some people, break these groups up and delegate. And what they can't handle, they can funnel it back up to you, and then you handle it. And that way things will go a whole lot more smoother. So I do believe that in a mega church, it could possibly be done in a way where you still get a small church feel. I did go to a larger church when we moved to Charlotte, Calvary Christian Center on Kilbourne down in Charlotte. The late Pastor Roberts and Mother Betty Roberts were the leaders there. Cameron Adams is now the pastor there, doing a wonderful job. But Calvary, under the leadership of Bishop Roberts, did a good job. I know they were above 1,000 members, but it still had that small church feel. It's so I do believe that it can be done. But you have to put a lot of effort into doing it so that it does that way. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, Lydell Higgins is in the building. What's going on, Hustle? How are you doing? He said, you preaching this morning. I'm saying something. I hope I'm preaching. Preaching, ladies and gentlemen, is spoken communication of a divine revelation with a view to persuasion that leads to Repentance is what it's all about. We think it's about the hoop and the holler, but it's not really about the hoop and the holler. It's just, so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, saints and saints, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. So that's what we are on this morning, and that's what we happen to believe. And we're just hoping that you're able to pull, as my good friend Kay Sola would say, a few nuggets out of what we're saying on this morning. Support is a big thing. It goes a long way. It's something that we should all practice. And I also think that we all need it at some point or another. Okay. I think the point that I was making is they will support you at one point. And then you get to a certain point and they withdraw their support because now it seems as though you're doing better than they are. And there are a lot of people who still can't grasp that concept. I believe every father should want their sons to do better than they did. Yeah. I think every father should want their sons and daughters, but their children to do better than they did. Leaders lead. This is a retro saying, so write it down. Leaders lead. Good leaders inspire. Great leaders attract other leaders, but exceptional leaders know when to step aside. You will never be in the ranks of an exceptional leader if you don't know when to step aside. You can't be in the limelight forever. And I'm not saying that as an exceptional leader, you have to, step off the scene or anything like that. But you do have to realize that somebody at some point is going to take your place. And an exceptional leader should try to work themselves out of a position. Truth be told, I'm not going to retire in the pulpit. No, sir. No, sir. You see this little bit of gray I got going on up in here? Yeah. Come on now. I'm not trying to be old gray, see now in the pulpit talking about somebody tell your neighbor. No, ask your neighbor. We're past that. Pastor on vacation. Elder running things. Come on, somebody. I'm just not doing it, man. I'm just not doing it. So what are you saying? Pastors can kill themselves trying to shepherd a flock? And yes. Because I am the under shepherd, not the chief shepherd. Okay, it's just like this. Pastors that kill themselves trying to pastor churches are equivalent to the mailman going broke trying to pay every bill he delivers. I'm just the mailman. Look here now. God told Samuel, because Samuel was getting ready to stress himself out. He said, oh, God, I told them they don't need a king and they won't hear me. And he was all down in his countenance and everything. And you know what God said to Samuel? He said, they have not rejected you, Samuel. They've rejected me. This ain't got nothing to do with you. You just a mailman. All you do is deliver my mail. All you do is tell them what I tell you to tell them. You sitting there trying to, come on, I used to be a mailman. And I could tell which ones were bills. Come on, somebody. A true story, real talk, no cap. You think I'm trying to pay them folks bills that I'm delivering? No, the devil is a liar. I'm delivering your bills so I can pay my bills. True story. And so, yes, pedo. Pastors can kill themselves trying to shepherd a flock of goats. Yeah, look here. They could. Okay, I'll give you another example. We go back to Moses, right? God told Moses to speak to the rock, and he smites the rock. Drink, ye rebels. And as a result, he was restricted from going into the promised land. The very place that he was leading them to, he was restricted to go to. Because he began to take things too personal. That's one thing that the Lord has blessed me to understand, and that is not to take things personal. It's hurtful, but I ain't taking it personal. Because it's hard to preach to people who you hate. It's hard to preach to people who you don't like. I've had folks tell me I'm grown, and okay, as soon as you tell me you grown, I put on the brakes. Because let me go back to what I said earlier. People don't mind you preaching to them, but they got a problem when you pastor them. I can get up here and I can say all kind of inspirational stuff and it's all good. Oh, retro, yeah. But as soon as I say something that come down your street, oh, that's I don't watch that dude no more, man. He think he know too much, or he just be doing the most, and he just oh, now all of a sudden, now you ain't got nothing to do with me, right? Before it was cool, and but that's how people are, and we have to understand that. and we cannot take it personal. Okay, and I know it's difficult sometimes, because people can say things and do things that will get underneath your skin, and they will rub you the wrong. Matter of fact, we always say they rub me the wrong. No, they rub me the right way, because that really set me off. And I'm not. Come on now. But we cannot take it personal. It is what it is, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's hard to preach to people you don't like. That's you. Come on, pedo. You know that's the truth now. And so we have to remain. How do I say it? I'm not going to say neutral, because that's a misconception. I got to remain neutral. No, you don't. You got to remain positive. And sometimes that neutral thing will get you in a pickle. You got to be instant in season and out of season. You can't be sitting there talking about, look at here, man. When the HNIC, come on now, you got to make decisions that sometimes will make you unpopular. Yeah, it's quiet in Mount Nebo, but that's all right. I'm gonna preach it even louder. You got to make decisions and choices. You got to do things that sometimes gonna make you out to be the bad guy. But you know what I found out? Ain't nobody mad but the devil. So if you mad, scratch your behind and get glad. I mean, as a leader, you can't be sitting there, Now, I don't think that we should be using our position and our power or anything like that to be, mean, because you got some preachers that are mean. I'm not talking about that. But holding back just because somebody's feelings might get hurt. Look at here, man. Put them feelings in your pocket, because I'm coming down this road. All right. Now, if you know me, to know me is to love me. Now, you might not like me, but to know me is to love me. And, and as a preacher and as a leader, as a father, come on, somebody, as a parent, you look here. How many of y'all told y'all kids, I ain't here to be your friend. You ain't got to like me. You ain't even got to love me, but you're going to obey my rules in this house. Sometimes you just got to lay the law down, guys, So anyway, my time is about up. So if y'all need me to, throw in a few more minutes, I will. Just let me know in the comment section. But otherwise, man, they told me you ain't got to be long to be strong, and it don't take all day to do nothing. And I do got some work I got to get done on today. I should be finishing up with the renovation job that I'm doing. And that way I can move on to the next one. I do have a couple more I got to get going. And also, we got a few patches that I would like to get those delivered today. They're calling for rain today here in the Carolinas, chance of rain. But I'm going to make the couple phone calls and see if the recipients are still up to meeting up today. You said, what patches? I'm glad you asked. I'm talking about the patches for Mission 448. Just in case you didn't know, let me inform you that we have a ride entitled Mission 448. And I would like to say thank you to all of those who have been What's the word, guys? Somebody put it in the comment section if you can figure out what the word is. Supporting, okay? So Mission 448 is a thing that we are doing. It started out as a ride for Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry, first and foremost. It wasn't open to the public. It was just for us. It was an accomplishment ride. I had, done some pretty big rides and was I'll be honest, I was proud of my 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 body of work. I heard somebody once say, and it felt good, but I knew that some of the guys on my team and gals on my team, Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry, weren't necessarily going to do those kind of rides, cross country and things of that nature. Not at that point, So this was something that I figured we could do that can give them a sense of accomplishment, and may even open them up to the desire or the plan of doing some long cross country trips as well. Sometimes we laugh at people or we belittle people for what they're not doing, but yet still we never try to assist them in understanding how to do it. Okay. Let me move on. So Mission well, not Mission 448, not yet. So the NC Four Corners was birthed as a result. So we left the Charlotte area heading down to Wilmington, North Carolina. Left Wilmington, North Carolina after having breakfast with my Uncle Buddy, aka Big Dog, down there in Wilmington, and we headed to Kitty Hawk, okay, out there on the Outer Banks. And it was so beautiful when we got there. The team made a group decision to bed down and enjoy the rest of the evening there on the beach, okay? And so we did. We had dinner at a nice little restaurant and just enjoyed fellowship, and got a room. And then we got up the next morning and we headed for Sparta, North Carolina, which was our third corner, and then ultimately on to Murphy being the fourth corner of North Carolina. So the four corners of North Carolina. Now, there were parts of the ride that were challenging, not so much out toward the water, but more so heading up toward the mountains, okay? When we left Sparta, it was already getting ready to get dark, so it didn't work the way I wanted it to work. We were supposed to be in Murphy before nightfall, but it was midnight by the time we got there, and the temperatures had dropped drastically. We did it in October. We did it early October. Yeah, early October was when we did it a couple years ago. And I'm enjoying this segment, but if you gotta go, you gotta go. Thank you so much, Pedo. I'm gonna give you a call. We're gonna chit chat and catch up. So there you have NC Four Corners. What we did was we stopped and we prayed at each corner: Wilmington, Kitty Hawk, Sparta, and Murphy. That's how I was led to do so. So not only did we pray, but the Lord literally released a word at each corner, and I shared that with the team, and it was really a beautiful thing. It was a great ride, and the fellowship and everything. And again, it wasn't without its challenges. Don't get it twisted. And when I say challenges, not just the ride, attitudes, everything. We really listen to me, man. You know, you get out there on that road and you start pushing the limits, and you start seeing some things, and but some stuff you can never address and deal with if it doesn't first come up. So it was an opportunity for us as a group, as a team, to become more solidified, to become more, to become stronger than we were when we started the ride, And so it was a great trip, man. And so we were inspired. As a matter of fact, we were more than inspired. We were motivated. To keep on going. And so as a result, Mission 448 was birthed, collecting the four corners of each of the lower 48 states. Okay, so that's what Mission 448 is. There is a small, very small registration fee. You will get a 3-inch patch. You get a welcome packet. You also get a certificate of completion once you complete the ride. If you are interested in doing the ride Mission 448, at the bottom of the screen is the QR code right there. Yeah, right there. My camera and everything is backwards. So you can just scan that, or you can simply go to our Facebook page, Mission 448, and just click the link. There's a drop down box. You can select which state you want to do, and you will also get the instructions as it relates to the four corners. Okay. Now we mapped out each state, accordingly. And as it was brought to my attention, that's not the furthest corner. Yeah, I know. But that's the way we mapped it out. Okay. So you do the ride. You can make it your own. You don't have to do it the way we suggest. But as long as you hit the four corners, you can take all back roads, all interstates, you just have to do it in one trip. I'm not saying one day. You can take 3-4 days. We took 2 days to do the North Carolina four corners. 2 days to do Georgia, 1 day to do Ohio. We should have took 2. That was a great ride. We were moving on that one. We had some riders to do that. It was about maybe 6 of us, and all of them was not afraid to hit them triple digits, allegedly. Okay, so it was a great ride, a great time with great people. But the point is, depending on who you do it with, may determine how you ride it. Again, I was with some very experienced riders, and they was really out for it, so we knocked it out in 1 day. And but we all kind of sat down later and said, we could have probably should have just bedded down right here. That way we could have got up the next day and just enjoyed it a little bit more of a slow pace, because there's a lot to see and to take in when you're going from corner to corner through these states. I had one official ground pounder say, yo, man, I'm a ground pounder. I get out and I ride. He said, but I've never been to this part of this state. It was North Carolina, but, you know, and so it will cause you to get out and get to some parts that normally you wouldn't do. We did the Four Corners of Maryland as well. Same story. We did that one in 2 days. And there was a lot to see. Some parts there was nothing to see, but there was some good riding to get to see nothing. So mission 448, ladies and gentlemen, who will be the first to collect the four corners of each of the lower 48 states is the question. Hashtag who got next. Now, you say you're a ground pounder and you get out there and you ride from hither, thither, and everywhere. Well, here's something that we got going on. And like I said in the conversation earlier, some people don't know unless you let them know. Look, we want your support. Okay. We would like your support, because I think it's a beautiful thing when we support each other. Yeah. And I'm talking about us, Cushites. You know, we have got to do away with the crab in the bucket syndrome. We sometimes will support them before we support us. And I think that we have to change that narrative. And guess what? We've been saying that forever. So, you know, will it ever really be changed? I don't know. But we got to keep the fight, and we got to keep the dream alive, and we got to keep on preaching that narrative. OK, I get out and I try to support others, not so much because I want to be supported. I do it because it's right. Yeah, I do it because it's right. And then if I am supported in return, then it's a plus. But I'm telling you from the horse's mouth, I want your support. If you got a motorcycle, if you got a scooter, if you're a ground pounder, if you're not a ground pounder, this is a ride for you and your folks. Okay, so get at your boy and let's get cracking. Let's get out there and get the miles and smiles collected. All right, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, and some of you in the comment section right now, bruh, where you at? Come on, man. Where you at? Why you haven't signed up for Mission 448 yet? And I know you're a ground pounder. Where you at? Where you at? I'm not gonna call no names, not today, but you know. But where you at is all I'm saying. Okay, let us put some action behind the words that we speak when we see each other. And let's get out here and support each other. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. On that note, I'm going to skedaddle and get on out your way. And let me see here. Let's do this real quick before I do. Because anytime you speak to a subject, a topic, a scenario, whatever the case may be, there's an opportunity for it to be misconstrued. There's an opportunity for the enemy to try to get in the midst and bring confusion and offense. And so before we get out of here, Alabama, there you go. Thorough, we're going to send that to you. TD205 has already knocked it out. I believe he was the first one to do Alabama. Shout out to TD205, a.k.a. Terrence in the building. You know what? This brother here, Terrence, let me talk about him and give him some flowers real quick, man. You know, this is a brother who had, been following the Retro Philosophy Show for a little while. He also has a YouTube channel, and he does really well, put some good videos out there, good wholesome content too. You know, he's not just turning the camera on and just going. He's putting thought into it and everything. He does a really good job. He really does. And so he has been following the Retro Philosophy Show for a little while. And when we started doing the Four Corners, he was one of the first ones to reach out to me for Alabama, man. You're welcome, Terrence. We appreciate you, brother. This guy has put his money where his mouth is. He's put his time where his mouth is. I mean, like, for real. That right there, yeah, that's powerful. It speaks volumes. He embodies the whole package. Okay. And so sometimes we run around here chasing fads and emulating things. Let's emulate this type of stuff. This is what we need to be emulating. People like Terrence Darling, people like Mr. TD205. You know what I'm saying? Just every time you see him, he got a smile on his face. You know, you'll see him everywhere. He supports so many other YouTubers. He's a YouTuber himself, but him supporting another YouTuber, he understands it's not going to diminish his channel. K Solo has done the same. I seen him on here earlier. You know, we appreciate him. And so this is what we got to do, brothers and sisters. We've got to become our own best cheerleaders one to another. We've got to become our own greatest supporters one to another. I see Hustle on here. I see Moose on here. They both are in a motorcycle ministry out of the Maryland area, Kingdom Knights. It's funny because I used to be a knight, and every time I got ready to say Kingdom Alignment, I would say Kingdom Knights, and now every time I get ready to say Kingdom Knights, I say Kingdom Alignment. But my point is, man, we've got to come together, and I'm not saying that we're not, because obviously they're on the thread, right? So they're commenting, they're engaging. And that's what we've got to do, okay? We're not here to compete against each other or with each other. We're here to complement one another. There's so much work to be done. So much work to be done. Yes, C1, he's a solid dude. Real talk. He's a solid dude. As a matter of fact, yeah, okay, I'm gonna leave it there. He's a solid dude. He's a solid dude. And you will hear a whole lot more about how solid I think he is. Okay, that's a spoiler alert. So make sure you stay tuned to the Retro Philosophy Show. So thorough. I'm gonna send it to you, but here's what I'm gonna do. When I send it to you, I want you to, because you got to let me know when you're going to do it anyway. But me and you, we're going to have a conversation. We're not going to communicate. We're going to have a conversation. Yeah. And if you would allow me, brother, I'd like to come and ride the Alabama Four Corners with you. Anybody else want to join us in riding the Alabama Four Corners together? I know I've got some people who registered for Atlanta as well, for Georgia. Yeah, if you get a group together and you say, yo, Retro, we going out on such and such day, you know, come ride with us. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to come and ride it with you, because I appreciate your support. Now, what we did for the first year and some change was we hand delivered these patches. TD205 said, Retro, don't do it, man. Don't put yourself out there. He said, look, I get it, man. Just put it in the mail, man. You ain't got to, you know. So because he twisted my elbow, I just did as he requested. And then there was maybe 2 or 3 others. Dr. Remy, what's going on to Dr. Remy? She's like, Retro, man, I need my patch. I'm trying to put my vest together, you know. So I just dropped it in the mail. But there was less than 5. Other than that, every last one we hand delivered. And it is my effort, my plan to do the same thing today. I got 4 to deliver today that I'm gonna finish up some work real quick, and then I should have some time to zoom and deliver those patches. But all I'm saying is we really do appreciate the support that has been shown so far. And those that are not supporting, that could support, and quite frankly should support, we love you, and we understand. We get it. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, we don't hold it against you, but you still have an opportunity to do so too. Leroy in the building. The harvest is great, but the workers are few. We need all of the MMs. And come on, Dr. Leroy, you are so right about it. You know, so shout out to all my motorcycle ministry brothers and sisters out there making it do what it do. I saw Riders for Righteousness out there doing what, you know, what they should do, and they scooped up the one and only Piper the other day and made sure she got to her next destination safe and sound. So shout out to them. As I said, Kingdom Knights, Riders for Righteousness. You got Kingdom Knights Ohio as well. And who else we got? We got some more too. We got Teslo down there, and where's he at? In Oklahoma somewhere down that way. And you know, so many. I'm not going to get into naming names, because I know you know, Cross Soldiers up there in the Jersey area. It's just so many, man, so many. But yes, it is time for us to pull together a little bit more and be that example publicly. I'm waiting on you, Pastor. I will get some bikers together and we'll make it epic. Thorough, say less. And I'm coming with my drone, okay? I'm coming with my drone, my GoPro, my Nextel camera just in case, and my Singular. I'm bringing it all, man. I'm bringing it all, and we're going to make it epic, okay? I'll get you the link over here today as soon as I get off the air, and then we'll have a conversation and see if we can come together on a time. Being that it's Alabama, we got some time. Well, I shouldn't say we have some time, but we don't have to be as afraid of the weather as we would some of the northern states. Let's see here. I know some people that want to do the Alabama Four Corners. I will reach out to them and see if they're still interested. Let me know, Terrence. That'll be perfect. And like Thorough said, we can maybe just make it one big epic Alabama ride. Come on, somebody. Let's make some noise for Alabama in the building, making it do what it do. Guys, I'm going to get on out of here because, like I said, I do have some other things that I want to get done today. It's been fun, but as they say, but I've got to run. May God bless you and heaven smile on you. We're going to end this in a word of prayer, if that's okay with you guys. Father, we thank you for your grace and your mercy, your love and compassion. We thank you for this opportunity that you have given each of us on today. And that is an opportunity to acknowledge you, an opportunity to magnify your name, and an opportunity to get today better than we did yesterday. For we know that every day is another day that we can improve, another day that we can grow and grow closer to you. God, we come against the intention, the spirit, the thought, the plan, the trick, the trap of confusion and offense. And may no one watching or listening feel that way, but may we all feel inspired, encouraged, strengthened to do better, that we would no longer look at our brothers and sisters as the enemy, that we would no longer look at them as the problem, but that we would understand that we all have problems and we are all just simply doing the best we can with what we have. And so, God, I just ask that you would give me eyes to see it the way you see it in all things, that I would not lean to my own understanding, but in all of my ways acknowledge you, so that you would direct my path. I pray, God, that you would give me the wisdom, the strength, the wherewithal to take this little platform that you have allowed me and use it for your glory and honor, to uplift your people, to strengthen your people, to offer some kind of light and direction, inspiration, and clarification. Father, without you, we can do nothing but fail, but with you, we can do all things but fail. Bless every motorcycle ministry. Bless every organization, period, Lord God, that's watching this, however they are affiliated, God. May they be blessed and be able to be a blessing to their organization. That we as a people, Lord God, would not be divided, but that we would come together and that we would glorify your name, that we would be an example of the love of God in the earth. Father, I thank you and I give you all the praise, glory, and honor in the wonderful, mighty, matchless name of the Lord Jesus Christ. And the church said, amen. Again, guys, we love you and we'll talk to you guys soon. It's been a real one, but now it's time to go.
Talk to me. What we got going on?
We got the Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry, Four Corners runs. Andre, Highway Dre.
Highway Dre
has completed not only North Carolina,
yes, sir,
but he went on and did South Carolina. Just because he was in the vicinity.
Right.
It got so nice to him, he wanted to get where it was a little bit warmer, so he went on down to get him a few oranges. And a slice of key lime pie down in Florida.
I did.
But he also stopped by to get some peach cobbler while he was in the area. So he went to Georgia and did the Four Corners there as well.
Oh, my word.
So, Highway Dre, we love you, bro. Appreciate you.
Hey, look.
Yes,
let me tell you why I do this.
Okay.
Why do you? Wait. I got a question. Why do you do this?
Why do you tell them why you do it?
Because I can.
Because I can.
Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, you already know what it is. It's your boy Retro, and I'm here with Christ Descendants. We got the one and only Digger and
Skits.
and we out here. He's digging, he's skidded, and I'm just old school retro. But these gentlemen here, man, they have just completed the North Carolina Four Corners. So we are privileged and honored to present them with their patch for the NC Four Corners. That's for Skids, and this is for Crazy Digger, because he's been all over knocking out all kind of four corners. Digger. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, you already know what it is. We are in the building with the one and only Mr. Who?
Blue Shadow.
And who we got?
Karma.
Karma in the building. You already know what it is. We're sitting here sharing biker stories and experiences, but specifically the Mission 448 North Carolina Four Corners. Bada boom, bada bang. You see it right here. So ladies and gentlemen, we have here with us the Studs and Stilettos, not Studs and Stilettos, but Studs and Stilettos.
That's a different show.
That's a different show.
That could be wild.
That could be wild, you know. But they came all the way down from Tennessee and to do the NC Four Corners. It's been a pleasure, even preparing for the ride, talking with them, and an even greater pleasure to have the privilege to ride with them. For this portion of the trip, we caught them in Statesville and rode them up to the last corner, which is here in Sparta, as you can see in the background. Sparta Town Hall. Yes, indeed. We made it. We made it. So, any highlights, anything that anybody wanted to talk about? Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, we got my boy Nick, aka the Road Runner, because he gets on the road and make it run. The road be running from him, you know. But not too long ago, we all got together and we rode the Four Corners of Ohio. And so we want to officially present him with his Ohio Four Corners patch, making it do what it do.
Yeah, I got mine in. Who next? Who next?
That's it. It's your boy Retro. I'm actually privileged to be down here at Rare Breed Clubhouse in Fayetteville with my man Big Frizz and his beautiful wife. And so on behalf of Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry, we wanted to present both of them with their patch for the NC Four Corners ride. They knocked that joint out officially. And so we appreciate y'all, ma'am. Appreciate you, okay? The backseat miles matter. They matter. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Retro, man. I'm standing in front of Big Swin's V-Twins with the owner, Mr. Swin himself. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about the shop real quick.
Well, like I said, this kind of been like a dream of mine to have my shop. I've been riding bikes my whole life from childhood. And, now, kind of military, I decided to make a hobby into a business. So it's been a lot of fun. I kind of do a lot of stuff here. Custom work, audio, engine work. Yeah. So pretty much everything. I'm not really big into the show bike deal.
Okay.
I'm a rider.
Because you're a rider.
I'm a rider.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just kind of keep them, try to keep them looking nice.
And that's you're doing, man. And speaking of rider, that's why we're here, guys. Mr. Swin has completed the NC Four Corners. So, Big Swin, it is a privilege and an honor to present you with such a patch, the NC Four Corners ride. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. It's your boy Retro. Let you know that registration for Mission 448 is open. You can register today and ride the four corners of your state or multiple states. Who's going to be the first to collect the four corners of each of the lower 48 states? Hashtag Who's Got Next. Register today and ride the four corners of your state.
You already know what it is. It's your homegirl, Lottie Dottie. I'm in the building hanging out with Retro, and he ain't never lied.